Each year, over 60 million people play fantasy sports in the United States and Canada. Fantasy football is by far the most popular of all the fantasy sports, with 2/3 of participants managing at least one fantasy football team each season. Check out this video from earlier this year of Chicago Bears running back Tarik Cohen showing up at a fantasy football draft. When Cohen found out that one of the guys took Cohen in the first round of their league's draft, the Bears running back offered him free tickets to a game this season.
Who got me? I know somebody got me. Who got me?
I got you, man. First round.
First round, oh, yeah, that's me.
Oh.
Appreciate it. Hey, somebody know something about football right here. Hey, but let me get your number, bro. Yeah? I'm gonna bring you to a game this year.
So what exactly is fantasy football? Here I have on ESPN, you can sign up, or you can sign up on NFL, CBS, different websites. And depending on how players do in real life, your team and the players that you select get points in the game. So for example, you have a quarterback, running backs, wide receivers for each position on the field, and you draft individual players, and depending on how they do, you get points. And you face other teams each week, and the goal is to obviously outscore the other teams. Along with this, there's even a nonprofit association that oversees fantasy sports and fantasy football in particular. They post these stats every year. Right here is where I got that number from. Over almost 60 million people play fantasy football, and obviously it brings in a lot of money. So we know that fantasy football is popular nationwide, but what about here at BYU? I caught up with one BYU student who can't get enough fantasy.
Now we have an annual trip to Vegas that we go on, and so every Labor Day weekend we get together at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Vegas and do our draft. We all come in our jerseys and we're ready to go. We're pumped, and it's a good time because it's more than just fantasy football at that point. It's catching up. How's school been? How's work been over the past year? And so it's fun because it's a 3-day weekend, so we get about 3 or 4 days together to just hang out and catch up on the good old days.
While it's too late to sign up for fantasy football now, many other websites also offer other fantasy sports like basketball, hockey, baseball, and soccer.